I'm James,
And I'm Emily.
and we show you our actual weight loss journey with the keto lifestyle.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you check us out on Instagram and Facebook. But most importantly, don't forget to get ready.
Set.
Keto. He cracks himself up.
I do. All right, we sat down with Karen and Richard.
Yes.
From Southern Ketovore.
Beautiful Karen with Southern Ketovore and her husband Richard.
Is he the beautiful Richard?
The beautiful Richard.
The beautiful Richard.
And we had a good time having a good chat with them, talking about keto and different things and aspects and facets of keto involving their life.
All right, here we go.
All right, we are here with Karen from Southern Ketovore and her husband Richard, and we're going to have a keto conversation with you. So my first question for you, this is the one question I've been thinking of. James doesn't know this, but I know that you were carnivore. Did you start out carnivore or did you start keto? And how long ago was that?
I started keto about 5 years ago this summer at the encouragement of a friend of mine who had gotten control over his diabetes and he knew kind of my situation was starting into some type 2 issues. So he recommended it. And I did really a very clean version of keto for a good while and had significant results with that. But over time, just as things, progressed, I started eliminating more and more just because it was easier. So last fall in November, my sister-in-law and I decided to do a carnivore challenge just for the month. And I really liked it. And so I stuck with it. It was a little bit more of a relaxed carnivore. I kept a lot of dairy in and all of my artificial sweeteners and everything, but I was carnivore from the beginning of November up until the end of March of this year.
Awesome.
So, it was a natural progression.
But you're back. I know you're doing the BBB&E challenge right now, but you're back to keto now.
Right. And I keep it still very low carb. So I would say typically anything that I have is from vegetables, and it's vegetables and spices and things. So typically it's probably around 10 grams or less a day of total carbs during my keto times.
Right.
Yeah.
Not during BBB&E.
Exactly. Yes.
What made you decide to do the switch?
To switch back to keto?
Yeah, from carnivore.
I missed crunchy cold vegetables. It's really I missed. Is that weird?
No,
There's no innuendo.
I live with you.
It's not weird.
I missed things like romaine lettuce, like crunchy water. I missed romaine lettuce and cucumbers, and like those are my two that were like my deal breakers that I just had to have back.
Right.
And so like I wanted to be able to have dill pickles. I wanted to be able to have cucumbers to use as like a little vessel for egg salad or chicken salad. And I like to use romaine lettuce as like romaine boats or for salads. And so those were my big reasons for romaine lettuce and cucumbers.
I didn't know if maybe people were giving you a hard time for the coffee thing, saying that's not carnivore.
Because there's so many mean people.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Judgy people.
I don't hold back when I get those, but
she's a fighter.
I make my own rules, so
yeah,
you're an adult. You can choose what you want to eat, right?
Exactly. Everybody tells me, even still on my Instagram, they'll tell me, coffee is a toxin, coffee is a poison. I'm like, okay, it's my only joy. let me have my joy.
It's your only joy. Black bitter coffee.
Black bitter coffee is my.
Not me.
It's not him.
Black bitter coffee. Cool.
Yeah, there's some people who don't get the bad comments, and then there's us.
Yeah, it happens. It's okay.
Yeah, we've been called dirty keto and all kinds of stuff. It's You know,
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's
Oh, wow.
always experts out there that have read one article, and from that point on, they are just the scientists of that
Okay.
group.
Tunnel vision. Yeah.
Disclaimer, I was that guy. Okay. I was.
A little bit.
I was the keto police.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I feel super bad about the times that I spent correcting people and saying, oh, that has soybean oil, or that has, you know,
Yeah.
oat fiber or something, and being kind of a jerk about it. And
Yeah, but you tell them why
I do
it
tell
wasn't.
them,
You didn't just say, "Oh, you're not carnivore because you drink coffee." Meh.
Right.
You're not
I
this
wasn't.
because
I always,
you take in oxygen. Meh.
I delivered an explanation with it, but I was a little
Oh, you were judgy,
judgy.
very judgy.
And so I tried to back off that way.
Most judgy with me, I think. That was the thing. Yeah,
That tends to happen with spouses.
a little bit.
hey, that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
Richard,
Uh,
is she a Karen?
In the beginning, yes, full blown.
I was.
Yeah. Well, she never went full blown Karen because that would have been bad. But she went like
before being a Karen was
Yeah.
being a Karen,
Yeah.
I was a Karen.
yeah.
And then by the time I hit adulthood, I think my
When-
Karenisms.
Yeah, you took your foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, but she can go full Karen. She's not
I've got
scared to. Yeah, it's in there.
It's in the arsenal.
The demon is there.
Right.
It can come out at any time. You don't know.
But it's not no, see, you say that. Now, okay, granted, like we're all, I know, Emily, you're younger than me, but like James, you're Gen X, right? So
Mhm.
realistically, it's Heather, okay? Like when we were kids, it was the Heather that were the bad ones. I'm just saying. It was not the Karen. It's not my fault that I have a 60-year-old woman's name. All right.
I mean, the shoe fits. That's all I'm
It does
saying.
not.
So you probably didn't like it when that name got the label.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was just brilliant.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
So, funny side note to this is that I also run a Facebook group for our local food and beverage community.
Yeah, how many people are in that?
It's like 22,000 people that are all
Oh, wow.
like the Charleston
Okay,
F&B.
it's food and beverage. So the most opinionated people you'll ever meet in your
They're
life.
sassy.
Mhm.
Right.
Everybody's an expert.
Everybody's an expert, but like, of course, they hate the Karens, right? And I moderate this group. So every time that I have to put my foot down about anything,
Okay, Karen.
it's okay, Karen. And I'm like, come on, man, you can't post somebody's ID with their address. Come on, don't be like this. I'm not being ridiculous. But yeah, so the poor F&B community is completely monitored by Karen. So, they
Yeah.
love
Oh, that's so funny.
All right, so you sent me some pictures. Now, was
Yeah.
that right? Was that right before that you started doing carnivore?
right before I started keto. So
before
most
keto.
of those pictures were like 2016, early 2017. So it was when we went to Puerto Rico, which actually was,
Do they have a picture of me? Because
I think you might be in one of them. But that was
Mm-mm.
both of us. That was our heaviest.
Yeah.
Was when we
Right.
went to on vacation. It was our first vacation since having children. So it had been like
Okay, well,
16 years.
I have a different excuse for
And-
why I did that. I quit smoking,
He quit smoking.
and so a bag of Doritos every day,
Yes.
and
Family
who
size.
knows? Yeah, who knows how much ice cream and cookies and whatnot. I am 6'1", 6'2". Right now I weigh about 202, and
Okay.
I look okay, I think. I got up to 250 pounds, and it did not look good. Like, it was not. I walked past our floor to ceiling mirror, and I was like, oh no, that's just not good. Like, I looked like I was sponsored by Grand's biscuit dough. It was not good. No bueno.
And
Yeah.
everybody's built different and they carry their weight different. So
I just now looked in the mirror last week for the first time.
yeah.
When I was 314, you just stopped looking in the mirror. You don't even look. Especially when you don't have hair, you don't even need to comb it.
That's why I keep mine really short, because this is a countdown to awful right here. A big old countdown to awful. I'll be there eventually.
So I know you started your channel What, about a year ago? Is that when has it been a year?
No, it was earlier this year. So I think it
Was it earlier this year?
like February or March.
I want to
maybe?
say it was March.
Because
Okay.
I remember feeling really bad about it. Like
Somebody heckled her
somebody-
constantly.
okay, somebody has been heckling me for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I finally I established it, but didn't post a video until I think it was the beginning of March. And then it was like a month in, I was like, just kidding, I'm not going to do carnivore anymore, because originally it was carnivore and coffee.
Right.
And so I made that shift pretty quickly as far as just realizing what was going to be my lifelong plan. You know,
Right. On the channel.
Not to mention stage fright, something fierce.
oh my gosh.
Right.
My first video, the one with the smoke detector beeping every 30 seconds, which is
Not
awesome.
bad.
I refused to take it down.
Yeah.
But I was like, you could see all on my chest, I was all splotchy and like,
Mhm.
you know, it was
Well,
awful.
It's nerve-wracking.
Well, quick backstory. This is how bad it is. So in my store, this is 2013. I ran a very large, very iconic grocery store, and I recorded all my own sales announcements over the intercom. And they were always goofy, you know, just very hokey, me.
This guy Goofy?
Yeah, me. So
Mhm.
I wanted her. Now, keep in mind, my office where this recorder box is upstairs, through a back room, upstairs,
It's
down.
like the size of a closet. It was so tiny.
That's where this recording box was. It was in a closet. My office was district offices.
So like,
turned
long
into an
story
office.
short, what he's trying
She
to
started
say,
dry heaving, started crying. I'm like, what are you doing right
He
now?
wanted-
Like,
he wanted me to help him record, and it was so far, it was just us. There was nobody else there.
dead
They could-
quiet.
you
You
know,
have a microphone.
but like
Well, two
him
microphones.
saying like, here, say this to the microphone, and I got physically ill
Oh, it was
and like crying.
It was hilarious.
I'm
to
the
watch.
same way. Same way.
All she had to do was say, you know, we have boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $1.49 a pound. And I was going to be in the background going, you know, we promise there's no subliminal messages. She was going to read that, and I was going to go, buy the chicken, buy the chicken, buy the chicken, buy the chicken. And she could not get through that. So I did that. It was the whole thing. So for her to start her channel finally, I was extremely proud.
What made you decide to start your channel?
Well, I mean, somebody browbeat me. But ultimately, I think that what happened over the course of time that I was doing keto, I had friends, of course, people notice.
Right.
People notice either what you're eating or how you're physically changing, and they'll ask you questions. And
Right.
so I had several people, him too, but several people. This was actually when we still were running our craft beer bar. Couple of our employees, several of our patrons would notice and ask what I was doing, and then I would kind of coach them along with starting. And
Right.
so we had probably a dozen or more people that we were friends with that started, and that I kind of coached through getting going. And we had just this huge amount of weight loss and like people getting off of medicines and things like that.
Just
And these
energy levels
awesome.
going up and
just people that we knew. And
Right.
so the idea, I mean, basically what he kept saying to me was, you know, all you're doing is providing an example to people.
Yeah, you have all this
And
knowledge. Share it.
basically, like, I was able to kind of give them the tools that they needed to get going.
Right.
And if I put myself on a bigger platform to try to provide that same example for people, that there was a potential for even more people to experience that same kind of
Right.
potentially life-changing sort of thing. So that was kind of the determining factor. And I remember watching a Ken Berry video where he was talking about how Nisha like harassed him forever to start his channel. And then he was
Right.
like, if you're having, you know, success doing this, you should share it with everybody and tell all your friends what you're doing. And if you should start a YouTube channel so you can reach even more people and they can see how to change their lives with keto. And I was like, hey, fine. Dr. Berry said I had to do this. So
But I will say we lost business at the bar because if you are not consuming any carbs
you can't have
and
craft beer.
you have a 10% beer, you're drunk.
You were drawing away customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to be careful with who I shared it with.
You know, it's funny you say that because I have a buddy who started Beef, Butter, Bacon, and Eggs 8 days ago. And he told me that obviously it's loose beef butter bacon and eggs because he told me he had one drink with a tequila, and he said he was hammered from it. Just one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
haven't
nothing
drank
to
it.
absorb it.
Yeah, so I have no idea how I'd feel, but
I know
what?
how I would feel.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I was never a big drinker anyway. I would, bathroom floor.
Been there. Been there a
Boy.
couple times. Couple few.
Okay, Richard, what is Karen's keto go-to meal?
Eggs and bacon, or eggs and sausage. No.
Eggs and beef.
Steak. I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay,
You always eat eggs.
I do. I eat eggs.
If that's not your go-to
Pretty
meal,
much.
it's just sad.
Eggs are my go-to. More than anything else, I will always eat eggs.
Oh, I should have said eggs. Oh wait, I did.
But if I have a go-to, it is ground beef and eggs. So it's either burger patties and eggs or just ground beef seasoned up with eggs. He was
Should've
close,
said
So
egg.
good.
but that's the. I mean, it's budget friendly. It's super easy. It reheats well.
All right, Karen, what is Richard's go-to keto meal?
He likes grilled chicken breast with a bunch of cheese melted on top.
Really?
That's
That sounds so
favorite.
gross to me.
Like that's his thing. So he'll prep a whole bunch, and then he will, when he goes to heat it up, he'll melt cheese on top of it.
Yeah.
And
Like salad
if he
or
were to have,
something.
he'll either do that like over a salad with ranch dressing, or
Uh-huh.
he'll do it like if we were to have a hot side, you would want like asparagus,
Mhm.
or something
Now,
like that.
my chicken's not bland or anything. Like
It's
I,
not.
I marinate chicken. I slice
Okay.
it. I beat the full out of it with a tenderizing mallet
Yeah.
to get it one size consistent. And I either smoke them on the grill on a smoker, or I
Okay.
cook them on a Blackstone flat
Hey,
top.
we're gonna take a second here for him to convince James that he needs to buy a smoker.
Oh, you totally need to buy a
Yes.
smoker.
He's been talking
Please.
about it, threatening.
And okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, the reason why you haven't is it's intimidating.
Correct.
That- Yes. So the first smoker I got is called a bullet, and it's just a torpedo, straight up and down. It has two cooking surfaces about the size of a Boston butt, up and down.
Mhm.
Then there's a water container at the bottom, and then the coals go at the very bottom.
Clips notes.
Okay, well that's too late for that now because I just explained the whole entire. Thank you. Anyway, so the biggest thing you need to do is buy a digital probe thermometer, and that's it. And you just keep throwing like 3 or 4 coals,
And
into that fire at a time.
he also doesn't want a baby one, so he
All right, get a Traeger.
get a Traeger, and then you just set the temperature.
Yeah,
and
you set the
go.
temperature. It has an automatic auger. Done.
You know,
Smoking meat, like smoking a Boston butt, so good.
yeah, that,
Mm.
Smoked
see,
wing.
Mhm.
she keeps telling it wrong. She wants a smoker. I don't know why she don't say, if you get a smoker, I'll learn it. She won't say that.
You can do it. I could probably do it, but I'm not gonna because he will.
Okay,
So,
so he's very OCD. I wanted the pool, and I said I would take care of it. He takes care of it. I wanted the flat top griddle. He didn't. We got it. He's the one who does it. So I know with the smoker, even if I want it and I say well, maybe I should just sell it that way because you're still gonna do it. Okay, never mind.
You gave away your secret
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
It's all out in the open now.
Yes. Just marry someone who's OCD and you don't ever have to do anything.
Well, Karen takes care of the black top or the Blackstone better than I do, but she will not light a grill
I won't.
to save her life. Like
Well,
it's not
so
happening.
to clarify, we only use charcoal.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Do that
charcoal
with gas.
grills intimidate me. We used to have a gas grill, which he could not use because
And I
he would
burnt everything
burn
I ever put on it.
everything completely.
Yeah.
He master of a charcoal grill. This guy.
Mhm.
But no,
I feel like
We
why would I
literally
even
have
try?
4 charcoal grills
You do, yeah.
on our back right now, and they're all different sizes for all different purposes.
They all get used.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we decided that the pellet smoker was going to be the way we go when we do it. All right, back to keto.
Yeah.
How much? Both of you lost the weight on keto,
Mm-hmm.
and how much have you guys down from your highest?
50.
So you're down like 57 from your highest.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think he necessarily really wants to lose
I don't.
much
Yeah.
of anything else.
I don't look healthy under like 190.
He also
Right.
like an unsupervised 12-year-old.
Yes.
So
Right.
Yeah, I
I
eat a lot,
I like him,
but I eat one
and
meal a day.
I would like for him to like be around for a little while.
Yeah.
So he's infuriating because he is completely metabolically healthy. So like his blood sugar never
So we all
moved.
hate you, is what she's
Yeah.
saying. Right.
He can eat the family size bag of Doritos and his blood sugar will go to like 97, and it's infuriating. But yeah, I think we just want to get him healthier and feeling good. Like he remembers how good he felt
Oh yeah.
when he was keto.
But and I remember how good I felt before I ever got. Okay, I boxed for 8 years. I did Kempo and Aikido for 8 years. I did football, baseball. I was an athlete. Then I wanted to be cool and I started smoking, and then that pretty much, that didn't really hurt me. But then I blew out my knees playing football, and that took me out of all the sports. But I remember how good I felt back then when I was just,
Active and
yeah, active, just chiseled, always had a high metabolism. And then it got to the point where, I go to tie my shoes and I had to hold my breath, because I might not make it, I had to pull my sock on real fast, I was like, I got to make a lifestyle change here,
right.
And I had probably been keto about 6 months.
And I
think.
saw the difference in her, and I was like, her energy level went through the roof. Not even the fact that she was losing weight, because that's never been a thing for me. Looking at her, I never saw that. So, but in the process of her shedding pounds, she was getting this energy back. She was getting mobility where before her knees would hurt or her back, her sciatica would mess up, and all of a sudden these things started becoming a thing of the past. And I've broken just about every bone I have, either in a dojo, in a ring, or on a football field. So I'm like,
or in a fight.
So I'm like, wait, I can wake up and not have pain? Really? I don't have to start my day with ibuprofen every morning? Yeah. So when I started doing it, I started seeing the exact same benefits. So I was like, okay, you're onto something here.
Right.
Yeah.
And back to the original question, because we derailed slightly.
I have ADD real bad, just I will derail it. So
you can like hit a timeout kind of thing to shut.
I hope your
up
editing software is really good.
But as far as the results, but yeah, you lost like 57.
In a very short period of time.
In like 3 months, because dudes. And then and he's still, anyway, it's not like he was clean keto either. And I lost probably in my first like 7 or 8 months, I lost 45 pounds from my highest weight, which was 219. And I maintained that for a while. But then we had when we went to close our bar, which was in 2019, we both ate our feelings. And so I regained not all of what I'd lost, but probably about 30 pounds of what I'd lost. And did not get back onto the wagon until early 2021. So I spent like a year and a half kind of in that miserable space of being, back closer to 200 pounds and aching and falling asleep after dinner and having to take naps and, just really not taking care of myself. So now, as of today, 53 pounds down from my highest.
That's awesome.
But you're at your lowest that you've been.
I am at my lowest that I have been since pre-children, or pre my last child.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
So today's a new record low.
Yay.
All right. So anyone new that comes up to you and asks you what you're doing, what kind of how do you tell them
If you're just going to give a basic piece of advice, what would you tell them?
This happens all the time.
It does happen all the time. And I try not to be,
There's no easy way of saying it.
well, there's not. But if people ask me what I'm doing to get healthy or what am I doing to lose weight, I try not to say keto because I feel like the word has been kind of bastardized.
It
And
has.
it immediately makes people think of like exogenous ketones and
Do CrossFit 7 days a week.
and like the bars and the junk. And
Right.
so I try to tell people, I eat a whole foods diet, primarily meat and a little bit of fruit and veg, but I focus on whole foods. So
Right.
I try to deliver it more in a way that I feel like is
More accepting.
exactly,
It really
because I
is.
mean people will say all the time, keto is going to kill you. And I have this argument where I'm like, really? I mean, like they literally tell you to eat salmon and asparagus. That's keto. Like, yeah. So I try to deliver it more as I eat a whole foods diet that is meat based with
Yes.
healthy vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. And
Yeah, I do not do it that way.
he doesn't deliver things in an approachable or digestible way.
Right.
Oh no, it is. But it is. Explain.
It just sounds, some people are just more accepting of it if you just say I'm eating whole foods, I'm not eating sugar in my diet. Like they're
So
like, oh yeah.
That's the way I do it. That's the easiest way I do it is I tell people I do not consume sugar and I consume a very, 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 very small amount of carbs. And the carbs that I get are not from standard carby foods. They're from vegetables, what little bit might be in there. And then when they go, so is it called something? Yeah, it's called keto. They're like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then you have to go into this whole spiel on what keto is versus what they're doing, and how you're changing your body's fuel completely to what yes.
Right.
And then usually they're very interested, and they're like, well, how do you sustain that? Like, you like bacon and eggs? I love bacon and eggs. Yeah, just eat that all the time.
Yeah.
And you'll
Just
be
eat
there.
every day.
I think everybody that does, we have kids trying to come outside or let dogs. Which one was it?
That would have been the little one, the scary one.
The scary one that we call Chainsaw.
She's the cutest thing I'll ever be terrified of.
Little, she's 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
She is
so.
terrifying.
This is something I never asked.
Okay.
Did you, when you guys first started, how sick did you get with the keto flu?
Oh my God. I thought I was dying. I really did. And mine hit me like faster than it hit you.
Yeah. It for him, it was like 2 or 3 days. But granted, like, even though he eats terrible food.
But I've always only eaten one meal a day. So I have fasted 24 hours my entire life.
He's been OMAD his entire adult life.
Well, since I've been running grocery stores, because you don't have time to eat.
But even then, like, he would sit down and he'd have a big carby meal, and then he would have a bag of Doritos or something like that. But he never was a complete junkie like I was. So for him, it was like 2 or 3 days.
When you work 15, 16 hours a day, you don't have time to eat anything.
So describe your transition, your keto flu.
It felt like the dang flu. Like, I honestly thought that I had the flu. Like, I had these, I felt like I was running a fever. I had chills. I could feel it in my chest.
Did you get to a point where you were like, I can't do this anymore? Like, I want to quit.
Luckily, I had her, and she already knew what it was. But at first, she had forgotten about it. So here I am. I always get sick because I was, I don't sleep well. I never have. I have insomnia. I eat one meal a day for the last, 20 years. So I catch everything. If something's out there and somebody sneezes within a mile of me, I've got whatever it is. Like
He's
it's
always had
happening.
a terrible
Yes,
immunity.
I get it. So all of a sudden, about I'd say 5 days in,
I don't even think it was that. I think it was like 2 or 3 days that you.
I was showing ketones the second day of carnivore of keto, and then on the little blood meter
Yeah, we used
thing,
that.
we
Right.
used the blood meter, and that's fuel for me because we would compete
I
who would
just
have the
ordered
highest
strips for him.
numbers, and I'm very competitive. So I'm like, 0.8, huh? What do you have? 0.2? Dang, dang. Anyway, so it started up and it just felt like I had like a chest cold, and then that moved into my eyes hurt. I had a headache.
Mhm.
I think, like, long story short,
It felt like the flu.
Dean Walker.
It felt like the flu.
We immediately thought, like, yeah, maybe he is actually sick
Yeah.
because he was having all of these symptoms and he gets sick so frequently.
Mhm.
But it really
Right.
was this keto flu that lasted a couple of days.
Mhm. But I felt amazing.
And then he felt amazing. And he did have my example. So when I started, several months before him, I went from a primarily carbohydrate diet where I had
Right.
very, in retrospect, I only had meat at dinner and I would always have a small portion because of the whole, if you're a woman, your portion of meat should be the
Right.
top of your hand. And then I would have all of,
What's that from?
that's what they tell
Right.
you. Right, because little delicate ladies
Who's
aren't supposed
telling
to
you
have
that?
muscles. The American Heart Association and stuff.
I didn't read that book.
Anyway, like the food pyramid. Anyway, so
I don't remember that
I would
chapter.
literally have like 6 or 7 meals a day that were all carbs, that were, oatmeal, Starbucks lattes, granola
Twizzlers.
bars, Twizzlers,
Yogurt.
all
Yeah.
of the junk, fast food. And so I went from that to extremely strict, very clean keto right away.
Right.
And so for me, I was fine for the first few days, other than having like the sugar withdrawal, like headaches and stuff for a few
Right.
days.
Yeah.
But then it was like day 8 or 9, I was at work, and we had to work until like 1 a.m. And I remember I was just like, I had like the cold sweats, and I kept feeling, I was like running to the bathroom repeatedly because my stomach was upset, but like it was unproductive. And then all of a sudden, at some point, like I had to run to the bathroom, and it was not a nice experience. And it was like that for like
A fecal colic?
6 hours. Fecal colic. Is that what you just said? Anyway,
Edit that out.
it was like 6 to 8 hours of constant, like to the point where for a little while, like I thought I might have gotten like a stomach bug.
Right.
Because of how destroyed my stomach was. And then we got home that night from work at like 1 a.m. and I went to bed, and I did not wake up until after 4 o'clock the next afternoon.
I remember that.
And
I had to keep checking on it.
he kept checking on me. He would bring me water and like sugar-free, the Powerade Zero and stuff.
Right.
And I remember laying there in our bed, and they all had left me alone. And I remember sitting there thinking, like, I want a McDonald's cheeseburger and fries. Like, that will make me feel better. But then, like, I went back to sleep at some point. And when I woke up, it was like I did one of these numbers, and I was like, oh my God. Like,
I feel
felt
amazing.
right. And so, like, we always joke, it's like you feel like all of your old bones were replaced with new bones. And it was like I had this like 24 hours of absolute misery. But then, like, all of a sudden, I just snapped out of it, and I felt phenomenal.
But
Right.
I think that is a key thing that people need to talk about when they're talking about their carnivore or their keto or carnivore.
Right.
When you hit that point, most people will give in to those cravings,
Or they'll give
Yeah.
into
And then
like
all over
saltine
again.
crackers to settle their
Something.
stomach.
Yeah.
Right.
Or hey, this is not worth it.
100%. Yeah.
They can't see that light at the end of that tunnel.
And I think being prepared for that is
I've had several friends give up.
Yeah.
They go to the end of the week and they're like, I couldn't do it. I just got
can't.
sick.
But they don't understand what's going to happen on the curve of that.
it's easier if you
Right.
Once you get
anticipate
around
it.
that bend, what's
Smooth
at the other
sailing.
side of that is so much worth
Yeah.
it. You just have to get through the terrible stuff that
Right.
doesn't
And
last.
It's always different too for everyone because like I had a little bit of a headache, but that was it. Like he would get the keto flu anytime we would try what we thought was keto in the past.
I did.
And then he was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. That's it. This is stupid.
Because there was like a couple of days you feel like you're gonna fall out.
Right.
You know, it's like something's not right.
Yeah.
And then I'd go
Feel like
Taco Bell and
Fix
everything
it.
was good.
And you feel great for that like 8 seconds, and then you feel terrible again right after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's detox at the same time. It's not just, you know, it's not just your body switching over
Mhm.
fuel. It's also a detox.
Right.
And you think of all the garbage you've been feeding it for,
Yeah.
you know, however old you are,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, your body says, you mean we're not ever getting Doritos again?
Right.
And then
Exactly.
it
I
feeds the
thought
pantry.
sugar was a major part of what we need. Like that's what they've been telling us.
Exactly. So speaking of that kind of food, what would you say is your kryptonite or was your kryptonite?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Actually, no, bread. A vessel. You know, the simplicity of making a ham sandwich or fried bologna sandwich. I don't know if y'all do those in
Oh
Ohio.
yeah. Yep.
Fried bologna, just the simplicity of that.
That is one of his biggest
It is
hangups.
bread. Because
Like
keto bread, terrible.
I bought, because
Horrible.
metabolically healthy, I bought a couple of loaves of sola bread because it's like 2 net carbs per slice.
Have you ever had that?
And it is the
Yeah.
okayest of
Yes.
the keto breads. And it
Probably
will,
shouldn't name drop on their channel actual products.
it's not like a keto break. Anyway,
Yeah.
Edit it out.
but I picked it up for him so that
I'm sure people have heard of it.
if he starts fiending for a sandwich, I can make him a sandwich with his keto bread.
No,
Right.
my advice to people is don't do it because it's going to lead you straight to regular bread.
He will know my
Yes.
kryptonite. What is my biggest temptation?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers.
She's a junkie for
I'm a
Twizzlers.
junkie for Twizzlers. Okay, put it this way. When we had our bar, we had
Or those
several
gummy bear things.
Haribo gummy bears.
Yeah.
But we had several sets of Jenga at our
Uh-huh.
bar, and people would write on the blocks, you know, like, send me your best duck face with a cell phone number
Send
or
me
something.
your best superhero pose.
And one of them was go buy Karen Twizzlers. And so they would go to the grocery store in the shopping center and buy a pack of Twizzlers. So like I would
Yeah,
have
if you pulled that block.
strangers, if you pulled that block,
Bring
that's
you
what you do.
Twizzlers.
So just total strangers would come up and bring me, here you go, Karen, and give me a pack of Twizzlers. So like
So many
I would leave
Twizzlers.
on a weekend with like 4 or 5 packs of Twizzlers.
So many
And you're like, yes.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, this is perfect. I wonder why I have P&J. It's all the Twizzlers.
And I was never a candy person. I never enjoyed candy. Reese's cups, yes, but never anything else.
She
Not
was
a
more
sweet
of the dessert person.
Yeah, I did. It didn't matter if it was candy or desserts. It was, yeah, sugar.
That's her.
My weakness was any vessel that delivered salsa to my mouth.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yes, chips.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a keto chip yet.
There are.
Are there?
There are.
Yes.
They're called cucumbers.
Trust me, he knows.
Yeah,
You know,
Take them from Costco and get the whole bag, and then they talk about it on their channel all the
I
time.
like it.
yeah, I can only buy one bag.
They're really not that good.
But
They're
it's
really not.
something. Like I wanted my keto bread to be good, but if you toast it, it turns to like
Dust.
sawdust.
It becomes like dust.
Sawdust is screwed together or
Crumbles.
something. It's
So weird.
it's so weird.
Do you guys ever have any plans of doing any conventions at all?
I want to go, and I will probably drag him.
I was about to say I go where she tells me to go. So
Um,
that's the way this relationship has worked for the last 23 years.
Maybe me sound like a tyrant.
Karen, just saying.
Anyway, I would like to at some point start going to some of them. Like I want to do the low carb cruise or the keto
Oh,
cruise,
yeah.
and I really. It's super nerdy, but I was really jealous of everybody that went to the Metabolic Health Summit I think it was in like Santa Barbara, California, because that's like the nerdy convention where all the doctors go and like share all of their latest research and their specific papers. And so like even to buy like the virtual ticket to be able to see the videos was like $200 for that
Oh,
one.
wow.
And
That's
still like, I
insane.
really wanted to even do that, but that's nerdy. It's not like a fun
Yeah.
convention. That's just to sit there with like my notepad.
Or
and write stuff.
informative. Yeah.
Yeah, our first one's gonna be in Ketopalooza.
Yeah.
Ketopalooza?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the one. Is that the one that Watch Autumn Keto
Yeah.
does?
Yeah.
It's in Kentucky? Or
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville.
You should make it.
You should.
it's this month.
There are lots of bourbon
I was
trails.
about to say I see a twofer.
All right.
The
Is there
bourbon.
anything? All right. We're talking about health. Did your marriage improve by going to keto? I mean, to the point like mine, I fell asleep all the time on the couch, and it would kind of, you'd wake up and have to defend something that you don't know why.
So I will start
Okay.
because Mr. Long-winded over here.
Oh yeah. No, I got
Um,
plenty to say on this.
So
subject.
I will say for myself personally,
Okay.
things improved.
Mhm. You felt better about yourself.
Because it was multi-layered. Number one, it was because I was not like James falling asleep on the couch after dinner every night.
Right.
So that was the biggest thing, is just not being so fatigued and lethargic.
Mhm.
I had energy, so I was more, willing and happy to
Willing. That didn't sound right.
not God, like more. I would initiate more.
Right.
But I think that it was because of having that energy, but more than anything, because I gained confidence. And so the better I felt about myself, and the better I felt, not just with how I looked, but with how my energy was, and in general, not having aches and pains, not being so tired
Right.
altogether, was just a layered thing. I think that improved
Oh yeah.
overall.
Well, because in the beginning, like, you felt bad about yourself, which made you not want to, present yourself in
Oh yeah,
any type of way.
I had periods of time, especially
No
when
matter what I
was,
say, saying like, look,
and
I don't care
he has
about any of that.
never in any way made me feel self-conscious or anything about my body. Through pregnancies and overall, from the time that we met to my highest weight was about a 90-pound difference, and he never looked at me differently.
You're my best buddy.
You're my best buddy. But I still, I saw myself, and I was self-conscious. And so I remember having these times where he would initiate things, and I would feel so self-conscious and depressed about my appearance that I didn't want to, because I was so focused on myself, where he didn't see any of that. And so it was really an unfair point between the two of us, because it was a lot that I had to work out.
Yeah, but that's not exactly the way it would go down. It would be like, hey, you want it? And then she'd start crying, which made me feel awesome. Because then I'm like, is it me? Like, I take my shirt off and go, oh no, it's me.
No.
No,
That happened like twice, where I would cry.
that's what needs to happen.
And I
You
would be
forget that.
like, it's because I'm like, you don't want to see me naked. And he was like, I don't care. I don't think you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Because that's just the
Then the mood was dead.
The mood was dead.
Gone forever.
Because I was all floppy faced.
It's like one of your kids knocking on the bedroom door. Mommy.
Yeah.
Mood
Crying
gone.
is that's the end.
Yep, mood gone.
You want to reschedule?
Are you done?
Huh?
Are you done with you?
Now
Okay.
you proceed with you.
Yeah, libido, like through the roof. Energy level through the roof. And I also was the guy that fell asleep on the couch and then woke
We
up with
both
a
were.
wife like mean mugging you through the kitchen, and you didn't know exactly why. It was because someone had plans that did not tell you that they had plans, and you fell asleep on the couch. So and then once I started keto, like my back didn't hurt, my knee didn't hurt, feet didn't hurt, what have you.
Right.
And I also felt more confident. So I initiated a lot more than she.
I
To the
don't have
point
to
where
initiate.
No, to the point where it was a little ridiculous. It
sometimes
was
I'm just
like
like,
we were
"Oh."
17 and 19 again. Like it was just dumb. Like just crazy stuff. And yeah, so it's amazing when you feel good
Mhm.
physically and mentally and just metabolically, how that translates to everything else.
In general relationships. I feel
Yes.
like at the same time, just because we don't have that couple of hours at the end of the night where we're both nodding off on the couch and stuff, like we spend more time together.
Right.
And like we take every afternoon except right now because it's
It's
constantly raining.
Welcome to
But
Charleston.
we take walks around the neighborhood every evening when we get home from work, and we
Usually twice,
sit,
once with the kids and once by ourselves, because you can only do it with the kids once.
Yeah. And then we'll sit outside and watch people run the stop sign and get pulled over by the cops. And
It's fantastic.
yeah, great entertainment. But we spend a lot more time together than we used to.
Right.
So overall our relationship has improved just because we are more awake and aware and able to spend more time together.
Yeah. That's how I describe me. It's just alert. You know what I mean? Like you want to do stuff, but every time you eat, you're just crashed out.
Yeah. And it's almost, before it was so annoying because he would be the one always falling asleep, like just sitting there and just, it's like so frustrating. And now I get frustrated because he won't go to bed. So it's like, you have to be up in 5 hours. You need to go to bed. And he's like a child fighting it now. Yeah.
It's a dude thing.
The dude thing.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel your pain.
So on your channel going forward, are you going to try to include Richard more, or is it
Lord
still going to
help
be
me.
kind of your thing?
Here's the thing. My videos, when I do them alone, I can keep them to like 10 or 12 minutes.
Mhm.
Not
If
with
I
me in
add
it.
this guy,
I'm long-winded.
Stan.
as you've
Yeah.
experienced here tonight, he's a little wordy.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit of a showman.
Yeah.
I would love to, though, especially now that he had started back keto a month or two ago. But then when he got COVID, he just completely derailed back to all the junk because when his taste was off, he really struggled with.
Oh my God, I couldn't taste anything.
Well,
everything tasted like super salty.
Everything was super salty.
Weird.
So he only wanted like sweet stuff.
Sweet stuff tasted like sweet stuff. Anything else tasted like it was over salted.
I made him burger patties with no salt whatsoever.
Oh, it
and
tasted like I was
still
eating a salt
complained that it
shaker
was
with meat in
salty.
it.
So
So bad.
I just let him do the thing. But now that he's back keto, I would like to feature him, even if we did like an episode a week or something just on him and his progress and how he was feeling. I think it would be fun to include him.
It's awesome though, because it's not.
If y'all have seen the videos that she did of me at Craft Conundrum, I don't even know if you can find those videos anymore.
I'll send you one of them.
The stuff she made me do, the stuff she made me do in these videos is ridiculous.
It's not explicit.
No, except for the one where I was wearing LuLaRoe leggings.
I did make him wear LuLaRoe leggings.
Yeah, unrelated.
We were doing a leggings party, and
yeah, I'm laying on like cornhole boards, dumping chips into my mouth in slow motion.
Yeah.
There's one with like coffee beans where I'm spitting them out because we had a coffee infused beer. Oh, just weird stuff. Shirtless in one of them,
he acts
holding
like
onto a keg.
I really want to clarify here that these
They were all my ideas.
I was about to say none of these were my ideas. I was just the cameraman.
If I think it's funny, if you can't laugh at yourself,
The only thing that was completely my plan, and this is the one that I will send you because it is the best one, is making him try regular straight up espresso for the first time. And we were in a public little coffee shop with like a little outside courtyard,
That was
and
bad espresso.
we were surrounded by other people, and we were prepared because we had it before, and we wanted to torture him. And
Okay, at the time, all I drank was like
the
Starbucks.
super fruity
Yeah, caramel macchiatos with like a foam drizzle. Like it was terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't like coffee apparently.
No.
Yeah, now I do, but then I did. Yeah, that video says it all. I can't wait for y'all to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty
I can't wait.
Yeah, pretty bad.
All right. So is there anything before we jump off that you'd like to say to people viewing about your channel, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I want people to know that my channel, I am doing it for, it's a twofold reason. So part of it is for accountability and sharing my own journey so that to keep myself accountable. But a part of it is also to kind of deliver a very real and authentic example. And so I try not to heavily edit because I want people to see when I screw up, and
Yeah.
I don't want to hide anything. I want to always kind of have some full transparency because we are all human, and anybody that starts any health plan, whether it's low carb, keto, carnivore,
Anything. Yeah.
really want to go vegan or something, everybody's going to screw up. And I feel like it is comforting to see people that are also being very human.
It is.
So that's one of the reasons why I want to share it is to constantly deliver that very authentic
Right.
example of what the real life example of what it is to try and take this
That's
journey.
And probably my most favorite thing about your channel is that you can tell that you're being you and real and transparent. And I like that. So, because we're all human, and maybe what we do or may not match what somebody else does, but it's out there.
Yeah.
As long as you're
Somebody
getting
can relate.
health benefits, that's what
Right.
matters.
Yeah.
And everybody has to, some people have to take this to the extremes and get really strict, and some people can do that real dirty, lazy version of keto and
Right.
be super healthy and see great benefits. And it's up to each and every one of us to determine where we fall on that spectrum. And kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier with kind of the dogmatic side of it, we have to remember to be respectful of that too, where like we got to stay in our own lane sometimes.
And there's a lot of militant style
but
groups
at
out
the
there.
same time, like be willing to find your place. And I mean, I've run the gamut of different types of keto. I've done dirty keto, I've done super strict, I've done, carnivore, I've done now BBB&E, and I, each time I've kind of switched it up, I've figured something else out. And I think figuring out where you are and then remembering at the same time to stay in your lane and remember other people aren't in the same place as you is really important.
Yeah.
Yes. And it really is a learning process as you go through it. So
I think we've always tried to do the best that we could, but by being financially conscious, because I mean, if we were trying to be like perfect keto,
we'd go bankrupt.
we'd
probably.
go bankrupt trying to, paying $7, $8 a pound for ground beef.
Right. So
I buy all the markdowns, man.
Yeah,
Cheap.
me too.
Yeah, we do too. But
when we can find it.
all right. Well, I guess thank you guys for the interview.
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful.
Thank y'all for having us.
All right, and we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed listening, eavesdropping on our conversation. And I hope if you have not subscribed or watched Southern Ketovore
already,
give them a shot.
Yes.
And until
next time.
you guys take care.